Why are budget RoboVacuums now having the same suction power as flagship models? Well, let me introduce you to the Roborock Q7 M5 Plus and its sister, the Roborock Q7, which is not coming with the clean station. And these are really engineered to be vacuuming specialists. So what that means is that they're going to be coming with that anti-tangle brush roll, but they're going to be combining that with a lot of power. However, they're not going to come with the best in terms of the mopping technology, and it's still going to be coming with some pet hair management. So as an overall RoboVac, it's still going to be a jack of all trades. Now, the secret is that when you place it and you want to do a test with it, you just send it out and it's not going to have any front-facing cameras. But because it has that precise sense LiDAR, but no reactive tech, I do find that the performance here is very good. However, it's not that predictable. And just to be clear, that 10,000 Pascal suction power is the same suction power you get in the Roborock S8 Max V Ultra. And Pascals really measure the pressure directly related to the vacuum's ability to lift and extract dirt off your floor. Second part of that is that because of the increase in suction power, you do find that the smaller size of your Q7 is not a detriment. Actually, it's a benefit because this Q7 can go into smaller places than a Q10 or a Roborock S8 Max V Ultra, specifically because it's more narrow and it's not as wide. So this is reminding me of those value RoboVacs you can get. And the Precise Sense LiDAR here is identical to the S8 Max V Ultra, but is not coming with any of that AI optical navigation. It is not coming with any of the reactive tech. So you're not getting any AI chips inside of the Q7. This is really meant to be a value player. But the key part of this value is that as a mop, it is also going to have better performance than its competitors because it has a water tank. And that water tank has adjustable water levels that you can set inside the app. And it still comes with a small but functional auto empty dock, so it doesn't have a big footprint on your floors. And something that rarely ever gets mentioned by other reviewers is that the Roborock Q7, as you use it more and it gets used to your home and your layout, it's going to start getting faster. And that is very impressive. Again, with no AI tech, it is because the mapping technology and that algorithm is still very, very powerful. So let's do our first oatmeal test here. We're going to use oatmeal on the floor and see if it can pick it up. And just for comparison purposes, this is my Ceros Z70. You can see how much larger the self-empty station is than on your Q7. Edge and corner cleaning are going to be pretty good because it gets as close as possible to the edges, but it does not come with that extendable mop pad or extendable side brush. So it's not going to be able to get into the exact corner. It doesn't have a shooting air properties here. It doesn't have those features like you get on other flagship models. But in terms of the oatmeal, it's going to pick up all this oatmeal and it's going to do a good job without spreading that oatmeal around by its side brush. So even the side brush here has been engineered to have the same characteristics that we're noticing, where it's going to spin slower and your machine is going to run slower so that it can do a better job picking up things off your floor when it detects there's a lot of things on the floor. And that, even without the AI obstacle detection, is impressive because how is this machine recognizing that except through LiDAR? And when it's mopping, your Q7 is going to curve into edges so it gets more scrubbing action. And that's something we see on the iRobots as well as on the Roborocks.
One thing you'll notice is that your Q10 will use less water than your Q7. Your Q7 will run out of water faster, even though the Q10 is at a higher water level usage setting.
And when you're talking about the Q7 M5's mopping, it's going to be using something called drag mopping. So it's a passive system, so you have a mop pad on the bottom, and it's going to have an electronic pump attached to it that's going to consistently adjust its dampness. So in this setup here, you're going to be getting 3 levels, and the robot is simply going to drag this wet pad across the floor. It is effective as a wet jet replacement, but it is not necessarily meant for dried on or sticky stains or anything that requires a lot of mechanical scrubbing. And in terms of cord management, the Q7 is going to be good for cords, not the best because it doesn't have a front-facing camera. But because of its aggressiveness, it actually will get close and even touch the cords many times, but it won't get tangled in them. And that's because of its smaller size, its different brush roll, and because it likes to just aggressively push itself away from cords when it does sense that it might get tangled. And that's behavior that has been programmed into the machine instead of trying to go slower and then spin around repeatedly that a lot of these AI systems do when they get caught in cords. In terms of navigation and mapping, I did not notice a difference between the Q7M5 or the Q10 or even the 35A because they all use that Precise Sense LiDAR, and I think Roborock has put the same sensor inside all three of the units. You're also going to get that software and app control, the same multi-level mapping, the same 3D map displays, the same advanced scheduling, the same ability to adjust the suction power and the water flow inside of the Q7. And that is a big bonus because you're not getting a downgraded version of the app.
And taking a look at the back of your Q7 and your Q10 side by side, the Q7, the mop pad is going to be pretty much in constant contact with the floor. If you do not want to use it, you will have to remove it. That's in contrast with the Viberize here on the Q10, which is going to be able to pick itself up. Not a lot, that's just about 10 millimeters, but that's going to be enough distance if you have it on flat floors where you don't have to remove it, versus you always generally have to remove it if you have water here because it will saturate itself automatically. So your Roborock, you can adjust the water level or how much water it uses from low, medium to high. Most robo vacuums that just give you a tank, they just let the water drip slowly out. They don't actually let you control the flow. Your unit is going to be able to hold up to 7 weeks before you have to empty if you vacuum every day. But general rule is, I would say after every 10 sessions, you're going to want to replace the bag if you are letting it do your entire house and the house is really a mess. And side by side, the Q7 and the Q10's base are nearly identical. The only difference is really going to be right here in the size of the port in the front.
Ultimately, what's our verdict on the Roborock Q7 M5? Well, this is not just going to be a budget-conscious choice here. It's actually a very good RoboVac. And in terms of these value plays here, I'm not sure you're going to find a better value RoboVac than this, especially at the price you're going to be paid for it. Because close to $200, this is going to be able to vacuum your entire floor. It's not going to do it the fastest. It's not going to do the best job, but it's going to finish its session. And actually, because of the 10,000 Pascal suction power, it's going to be close to flagship performance, except that you won't get that mopping. But if you don't need the mopping, what's the big deal? Because here you're getting the jaw scraper comb, you're getting the 10,000 Pascal suction that you see on the S8 Max V Ultra, and for all practical purposes, why should you be spending more money on a RoboVacuum unless you're going to get additional features that you need over something like the Roborock Q7. So I understand if you jump to the Q10 because you want the Vibrance, and that's going to be a better mopping system overall. I understand if you jump to the Saros lines because they are going to have the best overall performance and mapping and mopping from Roborock. But I would not tell you, I really wouldn't say that the Roborock Q7 is a budget player. I would say that this is a great RoboVacuum that just happens to not be that expensive. So with that, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you next time. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and please hit that like or subscribe button. It really does help support our channel, and I'll see you soon. This is Dave with the French Glow, showcasing to you our Roborock